One. Hello, everyone.
Hi, happy Sunday shift.
Happy Sunday shift. Make sure that you you share, you subscribe, you tell a friend about us. And I was just telling Tanya, this is a free show. It will remain a free show, but we're gonna put like a buy a coffee link. So if you ever feel like you want to give us $1 or two, it goes to like hosting costs and buying new headphones and things like that. So if you so choose, if you feel moved, please do. Otherwise, liking and sharing and subscribing is also A1 with us.
A1.
How are you, Tanya?
I'm doing pretty good. I went to, for those who are wondering, I went to Vegas last week and I just basically lazed around. My friends who are in a sorority fraternity, or what everyone calls Divine Nine or something like that. Um, they had what's called a blue and white weekend in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and because they're Sigma Zetas, and so they had like a barbecue.
Zeta Phi Beta?
Yes. And so they they had a barbecue thing and I was just chilling. I did have some of their blue drink,
Mm-hmm.
which is supposed to be like alcoholic, and I chugged it down. It was like, oh,
You
but yeah,
chugged it?
I did.
I
Um,
have not
so,
had any since I've been grown. Um,
uh,
so like the Sigmas, the guys when I was in college used to make them. Um,
uh-huh.
wow, you chugged it, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh no, the first day in Vegas, we went to a coffee shop or cafe and they had mimosa sliders, 5 sliders, 99% champagne, 1% juice. Drink that down. So I was just, I was there for a good time, not a sober time. I told my
There you
friends.
go.
So yeah. And I did gamble a little bit. I gambled $5 and 150, left it at that.
Boom.
So yeah, and I got accosted by some street workers. Good times. So I don't know if any of you have gone to Vegas, but basically there's folks on the street dressed half naked looking to get pictures, and a couple of, well-shaped young men grabbed a hold of me and did unspeakable things. For $20.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, good times in Vegas. And I was not looking at the news at all
Hmm.
until I got home, and then it was just like all hell.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough couple weeks for me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. Um, It's been hard, just like in personal stuff, and then obviously like political stuff. There's no secret
Mhm.
that neither one of us wanted Trump to be president. This is crazy. So
Yeah. Half
just
of
like I didn't
America
want,
didn't want it.
just like I didn't want Drew Quartermain to be in Congress, I certainly didn't want Donald Trump to be president. Um, so yeah,
I wonder if GH writers waited. Well, no, they probably didn't. But I was
no,
like
I don't think so.
wondering if yeah, if they made their decision on whether or not Drew would win or lose based off the election, but I think not, because I'm
I mean,
hoping yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm still in Milwaukee, and we'll be here for a little bit more, just spending time with friends, which has been really nice. Um, yeah, so that's happening. Um, I was just chatting with Susie and Tara. I was on their podcast last week, which was nice because I didn't have to do any prep. I just showed up, and if I had something to say, I said it.
Okay.
And if I didn't, Tara is really prepped over there, more prepped than me. But I had a little boost of energy today. So I like worked out, I did a face mask, I conditioned my hair.
Hmm.
So that's it for the month.
I haven't Yeah, I haven't been on their podcast. We should do it together one time.
Yeah, yeah. They're
Yeah.
very, very funny. I laughed a lot and I needed to laugh. Yeah, I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. I know that you and I have like differing opinions, but over there we definitely have differing opinions. And
Mm,
I am just always going to be a fan of being able to talk about those things in a way that's like, y'all, this is on TV. It is not that serious. Let's laugh about what we like and, disagree
yeah.
about what we don't like. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like trying to think. I know that everybody's migrating off of Twitter, and Sunday Shift's been off Twitter forever. I was thinking about whether or not to do a Blue Sky account um, for Sunday Shift. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I had earlier this week I had joined there's a definitely multiple social media accounts that people
Hmm.
can join, and I had joined Spill, which is black owned, and Blue
Hmm.
Sky. And then on Spill I was like, "Oh, they had these groups." I was like, "Oh, okay, join a group for I'm gonna start a group for GH." And but the thing is no one really knows how to work it. And so right now I have four
Yeah.
people, and I tried to do a post actually on yesterday. I just had a photo of Drew, and I was just like, I have so many thoughts about this week, but first of all, F Drew. And then Spill was like, "Oh yeah, this violates our community standards." I'm like, so I'm like, I guess I'm not gonna post here. I mean, it's just it's like right now, Twitter is a hellscape, and Facebook is not. I mean, Facebook is better, but it's like worse than it used to be because now it's all ads and all,
Yeah.
you hardly ever see posts from your own friends, and then you have to search for groups, and it's just not easy to navigate as it was way back in the day, and it's not as easy to have conversations. Like me and my friends were watching, well, I admittedly have don't usually watch boxing matches, but everybody was
Oh
trying to see what's
Lord.
gonna, yeah, everyone's gonna try to see what's happening with Tyson. And back in the day, it would be super easy to find black Twitter, or easy to have conversations on Facebook with your friends without having to do anything special. But now it's just the way they're configured. It's so hard to talk with one another as it was back in the day. And so
Yeah.
I feel like a loss, and but it is what it is. And so I was
Yeah.
trying to do that on Spill, but Spill I still don't quite
I don't
understand it.
understand it. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, so
Um,
hopefully, yeah.
I thought about also maybe doing like a Discord server.
Uh-huh.
I'm already in a few of them, and I know that Britt, who sometimes guests on this podcast, did one because she did speculation spaces, or she used to do them on Twitter. And so now
Uh-huh.
she's getting off Twitter, so she's going to do them in Discord. So we'll see. I mean, trying to continue to
Yeah.
find community. Obviously, our comments are always a place for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I have to learn Discord. I never really did. Just don't want to. I just want to stay. I want to stay where I'm at. I guess I'm like one of those old folks who just want to stay on the porch
same,
and see her community. But
same. Well, let's get into the show this week. Who is your performer of the week?
okay, so I have two and that stand out. One, I, a lot of people have a lot of feelings about whether or not, Lulu waking up is a good thing or a bad thing. But man, Laura and her scene with the hand was really great. Her just being like, "Wake up, Lulu. We need you to wake up." I was like, it was very powerful. So again, one of those Jeannie
I
Francis's powerful performances with the hand.
I hated it.
No,
I
I know
hated
you
it
probably
so.
did, but
I
it
said,
just
"This is
shows.
not how waking up out of a coma works. What are we
Right. It's
doing?"
supposed to what's supposed to happen is the powerful performance of the person begging the person to wake up, and then the person wakes up. But that usually happens on Christmas or New Year's. Like it's the Christmas special. Whoever's in the coma has the begging scene, and then they wake up for Christmas, and everyone has a happy Christmas. This did not
Hmm.
happen this time, but Jeannie pulled it off. She knew her assignment. She followed it. So yay, Jeannie. Also have to, of course, I want to give it up to Steve Burton because he was stone cold in it all week and I
Hmm.
loved every minute of it. The best scene was him kicking Drew's ass. And still, it was actually a lot of it. One, his scenes with Michael being supportive, listening, and then kicking Drew's ass, and then not telling Carly what it was about. So it was all, and then having great scenes with Danny saying, I'm not going to leave you, in contrast with the other deadbeat dad, which we'll probably talk about later. You know, all of that. I mean, Jason was the man this week, and give it up to Steve Burton, who is, still not the best return, but he's coming back to his own. So we'll see. Oh, and then
Yeah,
obviously the best return is Rick Hurst. But yeah.
yeah, that was the best scene. I mean, shout out my performer of the week was Jason's Fist. That was my performer of the week. No
Yes.
notes. I
No
made sure
notes.
if you're on our YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, the Quartermain foyer is my background because shout out to that. Shout out to
Right.
Jason somehow beating a Navy SEAL's ass, who has his memories but doesn't have his memories. We don't know.
Oh my God. And we don't necessarily have like the conversations on the worst performances or the worst character. But man, how they've totally turned around the character of Drew is just,
It's
it's
bad.
noteworthy. It's bad. It needs to be noted.
I have in my notes like the vilification of Drew is crazy. Like on
Yes.
every angle, it's just I mean, it's not. You could talk about things changing from like actor to actor that happens, but the like no remorse for cheating with Willow, the like it's just everything on top of
The
each other.
Yeah, the creepiness,
The
the
creepiness.
self-righteousness, some
We'll
really
get into it.
crazy.
We'll get into it. Let's
Yes.
start with let's go story by story. Let's start with Holly and Roberts leaving town. Good riddance, by the way. Um, so apparently, Holly owes someone a lot of money from something she did to the WSB. Goes to Britain for help, and he said, "I ain't really got nothing for you but this plane. You can bounce." And so Holly goes to Anna, asks her to look after Robert. Checks out of her hotel, doesn't tell her daughter Sasha. Holly ends up Casablancaing it with Robert on some kind of plane after Diane broke up with him. How did you feel about this? I know how I feel. How did you feel about this?
The only thing I felt about it was like, oh, great, she's leaving. That's how I felt. Um, yeah, it was. I mean, I honestly did not find. I don't feel like she has a purpose. And
No.
I'm sorry to old school GH fans. I don't know what they saw in this whole Robert um Holly romance. Maybe back in the day the writing was so much better. Maybe their adventures were more poignant. I don't know. But her, I mean, even when she came back before, I was just like, why? Who are you? And it was bad. And this is
Mm-hmm.
just not even better. And it made it worse was it made her character worse knowing that she or having them have her be Sasha's mom because it's just
Right.
like it makes her even more horrible because Sasha has just been through some things and she wasn't there for it. And and then just turning Sasha's world upside down is it's just crazy. And then to top it all off, she's going to disappear and take her new dad with her. So I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
really? I did not like the story. I thought it was boring. I'm glad Diane is able to um move on. I do want to give a shout out to I guess Caroline Hennessy when she was like talking with Anna. I mean, it was very emotional. I was almost as if she actually loved the man. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you love Robert because he's scared. he has never treated her with respect that she deserved, and
There's
yet she had,
nothing that,
yeah, there
yeah.
was nothing. She was emotional about it, and I was like, okay, maybe she was sad over, I don't know what she was sad about. But in any case, I'm glad
Mm-mm.
it's over. That was my only thought. I fast forward through most of the scenes. I fast forward through the goodbye until
Oh
I
my
saw the
God.
fog. I was just like, I have not really. I did know she did call Sasha at the airport saying, I am sorry I have to leave you, but take care of yourself. Lady.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've never, so I wasn't watching when when Robert and Holly were a thing or where they were on. So
Yeah.
my first introduction to Holly was during the story where she came back with the antidote and like we're dying and she was being selfish with it. This is like in like the 2000s. You remember it
Mm-hmm.
was like one of the disease outbreaks, and that's like the one where Sam's brother died. So I was really like, get this lady out of here.
That's the funny
Um,
thing is, I remember that storyline. I don't remember her being part of it. That's how forgettable she is to me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember her, I only remember it because I connected her with Sam's brother dying. And like as like an OG Sam fan, I was like, get her out of here. And then the whole thing with like Ethan, like she was just never likable to me. So I have never seen an interaction between her and Robert that made me think, oh, this is the one or this is it. I don't like Robert and Anna either, like as a couple, because I've never seen them in that light. But I can understand like the friendship and the familial tie between Anna and Robert more than I can between like anyone else. I don't
Mhm.
understand what Diane was seeing. There's never been a scene of theirs that made me root for them. There's never been a scene of theirs that made me think that he cared about her in any real way besides sparring with her. Um, I was like, girl, stand up. I couldn't believe the way they broke up when she let him go. I said, oh, they are simping this week. This whole week, everybody's simping. Absolutely not. You got to break up with me. I need you to say it. You letting him go
Right.
easy? I wish I would let Robert Scorpio break my heart.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much. I do agree. I did like the scenes with her and Anna. Um, but when Holly even asked Anna to look after Robert, we have been seeing for years and years and years the relationship between Anna and Robert, one of care, one of like, taking care of each other. Shit, Robert, like Holly don't need you to tell her to take care of Robert because that's what she's been doing.
Right.
I don't know. It just disgusted me. And to your point, like Robert just leaving Sasha, so you're not mad that she kept Sasha from you, and then you're not like trying to get to know your daughter, even though as DA, you know
Hmm.
everything that Sasha's been through. Your office
Right.
had to like do the whole prosecute. Like you didn't even say, "Oh my God, my daughter had to go into like this." Um, I forget the name of it, conservatorship because of my office. I couldn't be there for her. There was just no remorse, and that just does not sit right with me. And it just ruined both of them. So they can stay gone.
Yeah. That's yeah, it was just a total waste of time and for me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do hope they stay gone. And I just feel bad for Sasha because her whole world was just blown up and she now doesn't even get the chance to get to know her dad. She has to guess figure out the family and that's it.
Yeah, she even had to ask
Yeah.
Chase like what he knew about Robert.
Right. That's sad.
Like he didn't even like care about her enough to stick around, talk to her, let her know anything.
Yeah, did he leave her a goodbye message?
Now that I remember,
Yeah.
just gross all the way around. I don't know what the rush was to get them out of there. Um, that didn't and there's actually no amount of Sasha being okay with it or her now being in relationship with the rest of the Scorpios that's gonna make me think Robert doesn't look like a POS. It just doesn't. So
Right.
Well, we are in agreement. Bye, RNH. Don't come back.
Right.
But I think they are going to be back because I did like Soap Opera Digest said something like for now. I was like, that's okay. You can say.
Yeah. And yeah, Robert said something about round trip ticket. I don't know.
Mm. Let's get into something I actually do care about. Trina's new boo. So we have a new boo alert for Trina. Obviously, we know that she had been talking about like missing her partner from her art history class. She is at some place with Jocelyn. She has a meet cute where she wastes water or a drink on a guy. Turns out to be this really big football player, QB1, if you will. And it's also her partner who has not shown up. So Trina gets fiery and mad, and he gets interested. How are you feeling? I know Sabrina fans have feelings. I want to know how you are feeling about this.
Yeah, so the very beginning, I think it was around the time when Spencer died, I said, I hope that she finds a new boo on campus, and it seems like they're finally letting that happen. And he's sufficiently cute and he's sufficiently interested and he had and Trina just simply because more so for the anger than the whole, oh my God, I'm so sorry I spilled it because she's showing personality, right? She's probably like one of the few girls that he's running into who's not, like,
Mm-hmm.
fangirling over him. Like, actually, probably one of
Mm-hmm.
the few people because everyone's just like, did you know who you're talking to? You're talking to QB1. Even a
Yeah.
doctor in a hospital who has way more things to do with his life than to worry about a college football game actually knew who he was. So everybody and their mama probably treats him special. And here comes Trina. At first, sorry for running into him, but finding out when she finds out who he is totally pissed. I like that for her. I'm glad she has that new storyline to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, though, I was a little bit more interested in his friend than him. His friend was way more his friend was way more engaging to me as an actor, and I was like, "Oh, I hope he gets to stay because he's doing a really good job as the sidekick." So I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I was I was really excited. I said, and I think about this for a couple different things. I was like, oh, this is the Gates effect, where they're
yes,
like, we got to give Black people something to do, and we
mm-hmm.
got to get them in this show. So I was excited. I wrote down. I said, not a new Black main character and a Black extra. Like we got Black friendships, friends. Like we got
Right,
it's in there. Um,
yes.
I thought he was cute. I thought they had a good rapport. I think Tabiana does really great with like the fiery stuff and the like, um, yeah, like the turned up on somebody stuff. I really appreciate that for her. Um, I will say that something that like made me laugh a little bit was that she didn't know. I was perfectly fine with them even saying, I haven't paid attention to football because, I've had life, Spencer, all these things. But the idea that she don't know what QB1 is, come on now.
No, I found it to be believable because I had a similar thing happen to me in college where at the time I was pre-med and I, obviously had never really watched football at all. I only got into it when I started college because it was such a big thing on campus. And not knowing I'm the type of person who don't really know the name of players unless they are, super, super, super duper famous. But so I found the whole interaction to be believable. But what I didn't find as believable, well, I don't know, maybe I guess Port Charles is that kind of small town because there are a lot of towns in America where football, even high school football, is the major thing. And so I guess it's all believable in the sense that everybody in the town would know who he is. Because I was just
That's,
like, why does
yeah,
why does what is her brother, who's a doctor, who's going through all this stuff,
Cousin.
know who this guy is? His cousin, like, know who this guy is? Like, is it that serious? But yes, sports is that serious to a lot of people. So, but it's not to me.
That's not that, but that's not what I meant. I meant that
Oh, okay.
Trina wouldn't know what a QB1 is because we've already
Oh,
established that Trina is kind of like a sporty girl, not with
okay.
Tabiana's Trina, but with
Okay.
Sydney's Trina. Like she was
Yeah.
snowboarding and was like offended when people like Spencer thought she didn't know how to do it.
Oh.
So the idea that she wouldn't know football, I can understand her not knowing that this guy was QB1, but like this Obi-Wan, like that felt no, don't do that to Trina.
But
Um,
I liked it because shout out Star Wars.
I
Disney will
yes,
always shout out Star Wars and that show. I
I'm
appreciated
sure. I
that.
wonder if that is going to be his nickname to Trina,
Mhm.
which is fine with me. But just like don't play her. She knows sports. Um, I yeah, but I also like I went to school in Madison, Wisconsin. Everybody knew I would have. I think it's interesting because we've never heard Port Charles ever talk about football before.
Right. It's always about
Ever.
baseball or yeah, baseball.
Baseball with the
Yeah.
not even with professionals and not even with the school.
Yeah.
It's been
Well,
like
and then
baseball with the teams in the city. But we've
yeah.
never heard them talk about college basketball, which is or college football, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a town that has a really big college football team, then yeah, everybody would know them.
Yeah. Like I
Uh,
mean,
it
even
would
like the
make sense for
folks,
TJ to know them.
yeah. Like even Dante and Sonny would they would watch baseball, they would go out of town. I
Yeah,
guess
they were
what
Yankee
I can't
fans.
yeah, Yankee fans. So
Hmm.
um
But that's because they're from Brooklyn,
mm. And
like the old neighborhood,
Brooklyn's all about baseball.
all
Oh
about the
wait.
Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah, all about the Yankees. Yeah. So anyway, not to belabor the sports point, it was just like an interesting thing that I was like, I don't know if that's like actually accurate for Trina's character, but I did love, like I said, her being fiery with him. Um, him like showing up at the gym and her not messing with him. So there's like preview pictures for next week of them like working together. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. This show has clearly thought a lot about them and invested in them
Mhm.
because I know that the actor who plays the football player um, did a Soap Opera Digest interview where he talked about he screen tested with Tabiana. Um, all of that. And so if you're going through the work of like screen testing and whatever, that to me shows a commitment to the show into this couple. And he even said he knew about screening, he knows about that fan base, he's gonna try to like win this fan base over. So I personally am gonna be on board with them. And like support them and say positive things about them because I think that's good for Tatiana. Um, whether she stays on the show or whether she goes somewhere else better, or somewhere that she feels is better, if she goes somewhere else different, having multiple pairings makes Trina like a multiple successful pairings makes Trina like a more dynamic character. And I'm interested to see how they, like I said, the Gates effect, how they actually invest in this character, invest in this coupling, and then if this starts investing in the young adults. Um, I'm interested in all of that. Um, and if Dex will keep being around Molly, maybe a friend is for Jocelyn.
Right. That's what I was thinking too, which would be interesting as well. Yay.
Mhm.
Black Hospital getting more folks.
Black Hospital getting more folks. We love
Folks.
it. And like I
Yeah.
said, when you have, because I know I bought up the gates a couple times. Like I think I read something like they have all black script writers.
Hmm.
Then they got Bob Booza over there now, who is like the person responsible for writing some of the more like epic GH things. I know that there are people who don't like Bob Booza. That's my guy. So he wrote the Metro Court hostage crisis. He wrote the train crash and the hotel fire. and something that I've always been interested in about those stories is that you can't just do them. Lately, I have felt like GH, even on the best things that happen on the show, it's like they just threw it together. They just thought about it, like, okay, let's do this thing. Um, and it's not particularly planned or thought through. And so that's why we don't have a lot of follow up, and that's why we don't sometimes have a lot of follow through. Like, who does the FBI care about Kate's being dead, or is that just done now? You know, like
I
stuff
guess.
like that happens.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens all the time. And so I think the thing about Guza is that he did a really good job of like the planning, the follow, like the kind of coming through and being like, okay, here's the lead up, and then the follow up of the characters and of the storylines, which is like you got to plan that. You got to have a storyboard. You got to be ready. And so I think
Hmm.
that and the Gates is going to be opposite GH. I just like saw that they're like their time slot is opposite GH. So in general, not just with black characters, but all characters, GH is going to have to step it up, but they certainly are going to have to step it up with black characters.
Hmm.
So
Definitely.
we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I like the meet cute. I like the dude was like mesmerized at first sight. It was like, who was that? I mean,
Hmm.
Trina's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. She deserves it. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah. And then kind of speaking on that trend of Black Hospital, Isaiah, man, having Kim with everybody.
What a
I
Kim
mean,
slut.
I mean, which, you know, he has Kim with um Jordan, he has Kim with Molly, he had Kim with
Lucky,
Lucas, Lucky, Lucas. I mean,
Terry,
like Terry, everybody.
yeah,
So, and then, other
Elizabeth.
good news. Yeah. And so obviously GH was like, okay, we need to hire him as a doctor. So he's mulling over that and he's deciding to stay. So that is good. Like I said, more Black Hospital and
Hmm.
more hospital because they do need
More hospital.
yeah, they need a major surgeon now that both Terry and Portia are now
Co-chief of staff.
chiefs of staff, and so we need an actual surgeon, and we don't really
Hmm.
necessarily. And Finn's gone. Finn, the everyman surgeon, is gone. So, and like, even though
Yeah,
he's supposed to be a transplant surgeon, it's going to be between him and Lucas doing all the surgeries.
sure, sure. I do think that that's like the interesting part of it for me when I think about the hospital and like the refocusing because
Yeah.
it's like so often the show had really been about the mob. But if you're not going to tell mob stories, if you're not going to tell the real danger of the mob, if you're not going to tell all of these things, then you don't need to focus on the mob.
All right.
You like, and if y'all are like intent on making Sunny like, you know, grandpa like good luck advice guy and not like this not like ruthless monster,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no need to keep Sonny there, keep him like coffee business and his family, whatever. But the mob stuff, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it, it's the same thing with with Jason, and this is our transition. We talk about Sam's kids and like the fallout and the continued fallout from Sam's death. I was like really put off that the very first thing that Jason did after like he realized that he was Danny's only surviving parent to like go on some dangerous mission. He could have died in that explosion. And so
Mm-hmm.
what are his next steps? What does he do that makes sense to like show that he still has any care for his son? So we have Danny talking to him and saying that Danny Scout and Rocco want to stay together. Obviously, there's like the drama with the dads. Um, I am interested to see like what happens, what's next, and what they do with these young people. Are we going to see them? Or are we only hear about them? Because Alexis said Danny was inconsolable, and then I saw him, and he seemed pretty consolable to me.
I think we're gonna start seeing hints. And I don't know if that's gonna involve the kids as much. I think it should. But we're gonna see hints of a child custody dispute. Now, I mean,
Mm,
anyone who knows anything about the relationship that Sam had with Alexis, a good portion of that relationship was Alexis trying to get Sam away from Jason. And I
right.
think I saw a clip of someone resharing how Alexis was like, God forbid if something happened to you, what would you want with Danny? And Sam saying, I would trust Jason to know what's best for Danny. So I think, I can see Alexis trying to negate all those conversations where she tried to pull Jason away from uh Sam, and her not remembering that Sam actually really liked Jason as a dad. And she's going to try to fight for those kids, and it's going to be a big to do. I think that's going to be part of the storyline, but I'm hoping that they don't just make it about Alexis and Jason. I'm hoping that the kids, at least Danny and Rocco, have a say in what's going on with their future. Um so I think, yeah, and then Danny being able to express to Jason saying, "This is what I want. I'm conflicted about it. I want to be able to stay with Rocco. I want to be able to take care of Scout, but I also want you to be in my life." I think that was hugely important, and it was such great
Yeah.
scenes for him. So I think, yeah, it's got. I don't know what their solution is going to be. Plus, Jason's fight with Drew definitely puts a wrinkle into it. One thing I'm hoping is that Drew leaves.
Well,
That's one
yeah.
thing. Because
Yeah. I
he's just
mean,
not good.
no, I can't even talk. But I would say that, I mean, not that I can't talk about it because we will, but I'm just like, I can't
Yeah.
even butcher it. I would think that the best course of action for them is to stay at the Quartermains because even the
Hmm.
penthouse, Danny said that doesn't feel like home without Sam. That was
Hmm.
Sam's penthouse. Like that, like Dante doesn't really even have any rights to that. Um, I do wonder if we're going to see Jason back there, like moving back home, because I don't think that they're going to get rid of that set. Um, I think Steve probably misses that set, if I'm being honest. Um, and I think that Steve and Asher, who plays Danny, have really, really great chemistry.
Hmm.
You could tell, I feel like I'm umming all day. You could tell the chemistry between them. You could tell the care and concern that Steve has for him as they're talking, like just his support as a scene partner for him. So I do hope that we see a lot more of them together. We see Jason step into this father role, into whatever that means.
Hmm.
And I think the best thing for them would be to live in the Quartermains.
Hmm.
Like,
I also,
there's,
yeah, I agree, and I also don't think that Dante will be a major factor in the Danny and Jason, because I think even that brief moment where we had Sam just be like, Jason and Danny shouldn't be together. Dante was the one that talked sense into her, and that you shouldn't you know be too strong in that feeling, because the father son bond or whatever he was doing, he was basically trying to get her to calm down on it. And I have a feeling that he'll want to honor that relationship. I don't think but yeah, you
yeah,
don't know what's going to happen.
I also don't know if I think that Sam still would want Danny just to be with Jason's life the way it is,
Hmm.
because what she was saying to Alexis about wanting Danny and Jason to be together was well before we've seen her going off on Jason and his lifestyle. That's why I think it makes the most sense to just have regular communication and connection with Jason and Danny, and having Danny, Scout, and Rocco all still staying at the Quartermains.
I
Even
also
when
think,
Lulu wakes up,
yeah,
um, we're gonna like I think that there was already a scene or like a picture shown of her being at the Quartermains. Like all these people have connections to the mansion. They could all stay there.
I also think that scene that I saw was before Scout was born. So it really was just about
Mm-hmm.
Danny. And so I agree. I do think Sam would want Danny and Scout to stay together. Um, I don't know if she'd want, um, but the point of that conversation was, for me, is that I don't think she would want Alexis to keep Danny away from Jason. Um, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean we'll see. We didn't get a good chance. to see at the like towards the end of Sam's run where
Uh-huh.
she, where where she landed. We did have that scene with her and Jason talking and her being like, don't let anybody, whatever, whatever. And we know that Danny and Jason were spending time together, but we don't know where she stood on things. The other thing I found to be really interesting as we talk about like the vilification of Drew is that when Jason talks about the kids, he always talks about Scout and Danny together. He's like, I
Mm-hmm.
care about those kids. He told Scout, like, he has cared about her. When Drew talks about them, he only talks about Scout. He does not refer to Danny as his nephew. We have not seen him show any care or concern for Danny. Now, I do know that that could be because I don't know if people remember when Sam went to jail and Drew was presumed dead, Jason was taking care of Scout and Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that is why he has a little bit more of a bond, a little bit more care for them. But I have just been really put off by Drew and his behavior of not seeming to care about Danny.
Yeah. Which doesn't necessarily surprise me because he seems just to be caring about himself more than anything.
Right. Um, I would also say that I appreciated the unexpected moments of Liz encouraging Jason. It
Mm-hmm.
feels like so much of the memory of Sam that wasn't annoying was carried by Liz this week, which was surprising considering their history, but not surprising considering their history. And I appreciated her having those moments of talking about what Sam would have wanted. And it just really reminded me of how the show didn't use Kelly and use Sam in the way they should have. We never
Mm-hmm.
really got a chance to see her and Elizabeth be mothers together. All the things that they talked about, like the time they spent together, was all off screen. We never got a chance to see that bond. We saw the drama between them. We saw the
Mm-hmm.
problems. We never got a chance to see them like revisiting the bond they had with each other as mothers, as friends, as people who cared about each other. And that was really a miss to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just saw the brief starting of a connection when Jason had disappeared or when Jason married Carly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They bonded off of that. And I think they were starting to have a cool friendship, and then that kind of just fell off. And so, yeah, that is a loss. We do know that off screen that they were really good friends. And so that's probably why we saw such great chemistry, whether they were fighting or not. But yeah, I would have loved to been able to have or seen more scenes of them being friends, as mothers, all that stuff. So I don't know.
Even when Dante was shot, Jake
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I love Dante. He used to do these things where like, game night, whatever." We never got a chance to see those things. And
Yeah.
I know that GH is like boom, 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 go, go, go. But those moments of connection, those moments of building relationship and letting us see how important those relationships are really important. That there's no reason that we should completely mull over them. I'm not saying
Hmm.
that every week we got to see a movie night or a game night, but I'm saying that seeing it at least once would have been nice
Hmm.
to establish that
Agreed.
relationship, that connection between the family.
Yeah.
And then Spinelli's moment of missing Sam was really sweet and tender, and it again proved, he was like, she would have done this and she would have done that. Then why haven't we
Hmm.
seen her do the? Why did we see her do these things in the last year, 2, 3 years, right?
Right. But it did harken to when earlier they did have that special bond. They used to do the capers together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it was a good callback to those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Drew wins his election, and there continues to be Drillo fallouts. I hmm, I know it's wrong, but I really wanted for BLQ to slut shame Willow on behalf of her husband. So when she's like, when she's telling Lois, who didn't know, Brooke, so Willow and Drew kiss, I wanted her to be like, well, you know what Willow's like because you know what she did to Chase.
Right. Where's you the
But
what I was like, was it you that shared that clip where she basically went off on Sasha when they found out that Chase and Sasha was cheating on Willow and Michael at the time? So
mm-mm,
she totally went in on Sasha, called her out her name and everything. And I think they almost fought. It was
mm-mm,
it was in the ring. And so I don't know. I guess she's falling in line with the Quartermains and trying to keep it all in the DL and whatever. But yeah, I want to see it. I want I want someone to really go in on Willow because she's like being very self-righteous, especially with her being like,
mm-hmm.
"You betrayed me" to Sasha, even though Sasha did betray her, she don't know. But just they'll be like, "Why didn't you keep my secret?" And just like, girl, she
It was
sounded like her
silly.
mama. Sounded like her
Well,
mama.
well,
Right. And then when she found
well.
out her mama was sleeping with her, woo! I can't wait for it to all come out, honestly.
It's like a slow rolling. It's like,
Mm.
and it's being done in the most boring way. Again, in the same, like, with Diane simping, we now have Michael simping. I
Mhm.
need Michael to be trifling Michael. I want Michael to be spiteful Michael, not simp Michael. What do you mean? My marriage might be over. Oh my God, boo hoo. No, you saw your wife cheating on you with your uncle after you've already had a conversation about it in your house. You're out
Mhm.
of here. Pack her shit up. Act like your daddy. Either of them.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Do you think he might have told Jason on purpose?
Michael?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he thought that Jason was going to do what Jason did. And I actually am very uninterested in the fact that Jason, I mean, I'm happy it happened. I am uninterested in the fact that Jason did that. I wanted Michael to go berserk. I wanted to see Michael be looking like, mm, and really be trifling about it. Really trying to take Drew down. You're over here crying about your marriage. Also, I wonder if she loves Drew or not. Even if she do or don't love Drew, she cheated on you. Who cares if she
Mhm.
loves him or not? She cheated on you in the house, and they keep touching on each other's faces in your face. When
Yeah.
Drew went to, oh, go ahead.
I think he's doing a slow burn, which isn't as exciting, but I think he's waiting to see if she's truly truly betrayed their marriage. And once he sees that, I think he's going to be cold and calculating the same
He
way that
did
he was.
see.
No, he wasn't convinced of it because he slept with Sasha too. But I think, and he doesn't think of him sleeping with Sasha is anything because he still loves Willow. He's wanting to see that even if Willow slept with him or kissed him, is she really in love with you? And I think that for him would be the betrayal. But I think once he gets to that part where he really feels betrayed, I think we're going to see the cold and calculating Michael in the sense where he's going to take something away from her, which will devastate her, same way that he did with Sunny and taking away Avery. Um, I don't know, but I don't feel, I'm getting this sense where he's not feeling betrayed enough and he's not there
I
yet,
don't
even though
get
he
that.
should be.
I
He
don't get
should
that.
be. He should be betrayed, but I don't think he feels that he's betrayed yet.
Part of me feels like the Michael and Sasha sleeping together thing was more for the audience to have some balance than it was
Yeah.
for like whatever happening on screen. And I have no
Mhm.
balance. I think that Willow and Drew are really trifling, and
Oh,
I don't care about Michael sleeping with Sasha. If I'm being honest,
I
I
agree.
don't.
I actually think it's great that they slept
I,
together. I think it's great that Jason did go and beat his ass. I loved all of it. I'm just getting a sense that Michael as the character is not feeling that portrayed yet. But I can't wait till he does. I can't wait till we get evil Michael because it just really makes him more interesting. He's a more interesting character when he's out for revenge and calculating. I think he's playing it cool for I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
I cannot imagine what could be more betrayal than, you know, Willow sleeping with him on top of the stuffed animals upstairs in your family home. I will say that Drew is a creep, and
Oh,
I don't know why they keep portraying him this way. Go into the house being like, I know Michael left. I waited for him to leave.
right.
What? And then
And then
Michael coming back and like seeing them touch on each other's faces.
mhm, I think also the nerve of Drew. Like, yes, a lot of the stuff he said about to Carly about Jason being number one or whatever, there's definitely nuggets of truth in that. But to be purposefully lying and saying that Jason just beat me up for no
Unprovoked.
reason, unprovoked,
That was
sir,
wild.
it was hecka wild. He's being hypocritical. And then to go to Rick, like it goes to your point of does he not even remember any like what the past of Jason's past with Rick acting like what you don't like Jason? I mean like yeah, you know. And you're using the worst person possible to defend yourself and to provoke Jason even more. Yeah, you get whatever it's got coming to you. And I hope, it doesn't really speak to him as a father, but I really hope he gets Scout taken away. And I hope he just squirrels off to DC and we never see him again because he's just horrible. And it's a total takedown of the Drew that we used to know. This person now is just unrecognizable.
Him saying that he was going to DC the day after the funeral as if Scout didn't need him was crazy.
Right.
Like you could wait.
Hmm.
You could wait.
Right.
Like you don't have to be there. You could hold off. People would understand. Um, I think the self righteousness. I think even the idea of sending Rick. Do you know Jason? In what world do you think Jason is signing an NDA? What are you talking
Right.
about?
Yeah.
Who do you think Jason would tell? This like I have to protect Willow. I have to protect Willow. Now I have to protect Scout. Now I have to protect anybody else but protecting Willow.
Hmm.
Nowhere in the entire history of knowing Jason would you believe that Jason would be out here telling people Drew and Willow's business to then embarrass Michael. That I mean, I appreciated the scene between Jason and Rick. I loved the scene between Jason and Rick. That was a stupid scene. What do you mean you're sending somebody that Jason hates to get him to
Hmm.
sign an NDA, which he would never sign,
Right.
to like not tell some business that he would never tell? What?
Hmm.
Foolishness. Foolishness. And then also going back, he's about to betray Curtis too. So
Yes.
Curtis is having all these plans about what he's going to do as CEO. He's going to build a center, all of this, to not even know that uh, Drew is about to try to make Michael a CEO.
Yeah. And then Drew and Curtis are supposed to be best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell? You don't care about your nephew? You don't care about your best friend? Dude, where's your heart at? You have none anymore. You're just all about yourself and being very selfish and just crazy. Uh, he's horrible.
This is the same man, not obviously this version of Drew, but this is the
Hmm.
same man who we saw, grieving his son, who
Right.
he found they didn't like. Like it just to me, there is no nuance to Drew. He's just a lying creep. And then even to have Brennan questioning to Carly whether like why he got with her, I don't think that's true, but now I also don't know if that's true because I don't know what the show is trying to do to him.
Right. It sounds like it's true now because of the way that Drew's acting.
Right.
Right.
Like knowing that you slept with Willow, but then still having Nina help you with whatever.
Hmm. And
Plus, they
sleeping
were
with
really
Willow.
right.
She's sleeping with Nina. You're right.
Plus, I was like, people at this party are very loud as if nobody else is there. Mac is like, so you tell Willow about you sleeping with Drew
I love it.
in public. What's going on here? I definitely thought that somebody was going to overhear it.
It was funny. And she wasn't even quiet about it. She wasn't like, did you tell her? She was like, oh, so did you tell her? I got loud.
Mm-hmm. And then Nina
Ah.
being a super Karen to be like, call the police.
And
Nina.
running to Willow and being like, oh, you need to fix up Drew because he's bleeding and all this other stuff. So you know your daughter is struggling with this man, but you're gonna still put him in her orbit.
And Willow didn't do anything that nobody else. Willow didn't give not a stitch.
Hey, all she
Willow
did
took
was
some.
she caressed his face the whole time in front of everybody. Just like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh, oh. I'm like, dude, if you don't stop touching him, getting all of your nasty hands that you didn't probably wash, so getting his cuts infected. But just caress. Everybody was looking at her, caressing him the way he was. I was like, really?
Not a stitch in sight.
And
What
then
did you need Willow for?
the bandages that she put on it were all crooked.
Like this was, and it's the second time because I was annoyed that Nina would even go interrupt this in this like whatever way.
Yeah.
And then to kind of get into Christina's hospital, I was annoyed that Sonny didn't even stop Michael from talking and having a heart to heart about Christina. He stopped Michael because Natalia called him. What? Your son is who covered up your murder? I guess we're not talking about that murder no more because nobody cares about it, not even the FBI.
Really? Really?
But your son is trying to talk to you, spill his heart to you, and you like hold up Natalia, the homophobe is calling me.
Did Natalia tell Natalia said it was about Christina though, right? So he's
She did.
basically, yeah.
She did, but I'm saying that even before that, he didn't know who it was about when he should have. We could have seen him ignore the call. We
Yeah,
could have
caller
seen him
ID and
ignore the
all.
call and then her call back, and then he'd be like,
Hmm.
"Hold on, Michael." But Michael's like speaking his heart to you, telling like confiding in you, and you stopped him for homophobic Maria Santos.
You
All for
know,
this, like, go ahead.
they're gonna they're gonna try to put them together.
They don't
They're
have any
just biding.
chemistry.
They're just biding their time until everyone can be okay with it, but we're not okay with it. She's forever gonna be homophobic, Chris. Maria said so.
Yeah, and they don't have any chemistry. So like they don't even have the
Yeah.
chemistry to overcome that.
I mean,
And look, I get it. It's hard. They're always trying to figure out what to do with Sunny. Sunny has like two pairings at work.
mhm.
So if Brenda ain't coming back, I'm sorry. Like they'll have to put him back with Carly, or he's going to be single. I don't know,
Mm-mm.
but it's just it doesn't work. I Christina, I don't understand what I don't understand why she keeps talking about how she could never be a mother. Did they tell out of this surgery that she can't get pregnant again?
No, they saved her uterus. She did not have to have a hysterectomy. So I don't understand why she keeps saying that.
And we know at GH they have these magical pregnancies because when they asked Sasha, might she be pregnant after she had sex with Michael yesterday, she was like, maybe.
And what I don't understand is why Alexis keeps letting her talk about the baby as if, I mean, it was hers. She keeps saying, my baby. She does not call the baby by Molly and TJ's get chosen name. And Alexis keeps letting her get away with it. Like, yes, she was the birth mother,
Hmm.
but it was technically not your baby. And I need people to tell her that. Um, and then
It
her
because it
focus
feels
on
like a
just,
break with reality.
yeah, and her focus on just revenge and all of that, I don't like that. Like, I felt like she was like, oh yeah, I now have my purpose. I was like, oh, what, are you going to start a business, are you going to do a charity? Like, no, I'm just going to take down Ava. Like, that's not a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's bad. She's so annoying. I don't know what
Hmm.
they're doing with this character. Even this idea that, she remembered Molly's birthday after,
Mm.
sexy doctor sexily saying happy birthday to her.
Kim
I said,
Isaiah.
Isaiah, why is he so seductive? But anyhow, it, she remembers her birthday and gives her this, but you're still talking about this baby in this way. You're still not calling the
Right.
baby by its birthday or like the name that they gave it. I don't know. It's a mess. I think they invested too much into the character of Christina. She is very annoying. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have way too much of her point of view. When they had her go into the room with Alexis dressed like Sam, I was like, okay. Even the car accident just felt like a reason for Natalia to like speak positively to her. Like that was the purpose. She wasn't hurt.
Mm-mm.
It was just like, let's have these two talk and let Natalia gas Christina up. Okay.
I mean, it's a way to make Natalia look better, to play her against somebody that nobody likes.
True. Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing that's annoying to me, Lucky keep talking about leaving town. Now, if you know me, if you watch the show, you know I love me some Lucky Spencer played by JJ. And even
Hmm.
I'm like, bro, if you gonna go, just leave.
Right.
Should nobody have to beg you to stay in town? This is annoying.
Your
I
friend who has less ties to Port Charles than anybody is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay. What do you dude?
Every piece of this return has been a flop. The only
Right.
thing I've enjoyed at all, I'm a little sucker for LNL too. So every time Lucky looks at Liz that way, I like I'm like, okay, we back, baby. And then every time he opens his mouth to say anything else, I'm like, we not back. We're not back,
Mm-mm.
baby. I People should not have to keep. We know. Listen, we know JJ is on contract. We know JJ is staying for a little bit, and like an extended contract. I don't know how long he signed, but they made sure to say it's an extended contract.
Mm-hmm.
We know this.
Is he on credits yet though?
I think so.
Okay. I have to pay attention.
So, oh, I don't know. Actually, don't give me the line. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll have to ask Brett. So, but we know he's on an extended contract. He's not going nowhere. So we don't need to have days and days and days, conversation after conversation, with person after person, trying to decide if he's going to stay. We know he's going to stay. I would have preferred him going to Sunny, talking to Sunny about how do I be a father after being absent.
Mm-hmm.
To like name, I don't know what I'm doing or how to do this. Not to hear that Aiden is falling more and more in love with him, even though we don't see it. Aiden is falling more and more in love with him,
There's so many
and yet
ways
he
that
still wants to
they
go.
yeah, there's so many other ways that they can be using Jonathan Jackson. Jonathan Jackson could go and talk to Dante. Dante just lost Sam. Sam and
Yeah.
Lucky and Dante used to be partners.
Hmm.
Why isn't he connecting with Dante more?
Hmm.
He could be, chopping it up with other family members. He could be trying to get to know what's going on in Port Charles. He could be doing a whole bunch more than being like, I don't know if I want to stay. Why aren't you spending more time with your son? That's another thing you could be doing,
Hmm.
you know? He had it,
Hmm.
I think I saw in previews that he's having a scene and says, Do I know you? I'm thinking maybe he's gonna meet his uncle for the first time. He could have been doing that last week. I don't know.
What uncle?
But I don't
What uncle? Oh,
Cyrus.
Cyrus or Martin.
or
Yeah.
or Martin. Either way,
Hmm.
he could, yeah, all these interactions he could be having. Let's get over the idea of him possibly leaving and get on to the idea of him acclimating himself back to Port Charles and getting ready. That's what we want to see.
Hmm.
Or maybe
Hmm.
he could be spending time asking questions about Spencer, asking questions about little Ace. What happened here? What
He's
happened?
not even mentioned that Spencer was gone. I would love a
Barely.
really short scene. No, has he mentioned it at all?
I think when he had initial conversations with Laura, he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry about Spencer." That's it. You know,
Mm.
he
I
could
would
be
love for
doing
him to
more.
have a brief scene with Trina. I would love to
Right.
see him in just like bonding over that. I would love to see um, him and Josh making amends for what happened. Um,
Hmm.
I would love to see him at Bobby's, like working until he figures out what he's gonna do next. Like
Yeah.
there are so many things he could be doing except for like whining and walking around. I, Tracy, love Lucky, love Jonathan Jackson's Lucky, and I, Tracy, am like, shut up.
Right.
I'm glad Liz told him off. To be quite honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
Liz is not my girl, ever, has never been. And I've liked her and everything she's done this week.
Yeah. Agree.
So, Lucky, please get it together. I think Sunny's going to be connecting him with a job next week. I love that he was like, it got to be legit. So now apparently Sunny um, and Laura on good terms.
Yeah, because they forgot or she forgot what he did.
He's
He
like,
beat up Cyrus.
right. He's like, I'm on thin ice, but like, I guess they're good. They're like, oh, kind of good now.
I mean,
Whatever.
everyone's forgot that he beat down Cyrus. Everyone has apparently forgot that, yeah, he murdered Kate. Well, no one really knows he knows murdered Kate, but everyone knows. So
Hmm.
it's over. It's gone. Just
Hmm.
like, oh, poor Austin has been dead and no one cares what happened to
No one
him.
cares.
you know, just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
And I
I don't
want
know.
Michael Knight to come back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Tad and yeah, so Tad could be back in town. I want
Yeah.
all
Oh
these
yeah,
things.
because Sunny. I'm now thinking Sunny does know Tad because
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I want less whining, more of him making eyes at Elizabeth because that's what I'm here for. I'm here
right.
for Permanent Lock Part Two, not Whiny Lucky Part 25. The last thing I have, and I do have some hot takes for things I did not add here. Um, what is going on with Tali? Why do they keep making TJ look like a jerk?
And it's not him. Molly's separating from the relationship just as much. She's had really significant conversations with people other than TJ.
Okay,
First with
but
sex. Yeah,
TJ forgot her birthday, and that's very important to me.
that is very important. But I need them to just go ahead and hurry up and break up. It doesn't have to be a big spectacular, oh my God, she slept with somebody else breakup. It could be, yes, they lost a baby. A lot of couples don't really survive that. It's not like a horrible, surprising thing. If they need to
Hmm.
break up, just go ahead and do it. Move forward. Because yes, I want to see TJ hoeing around. We've been wanting to see that for a while, and it hasn't
And I
happened.
don't want her to see him being a jerk.
No.
That's what I'm tired of. I like
Yeah.
TJ. I would love for him to stop being a jerk. This is annoying to me.
Hmm.
Let's move on. Um, I also just something I really don't like is that Molly has been a part of TJ's family for a decade plus.
Hmm.
The idea that TJ's family wasn't supporting Molly is wild.
Hmm.
There's no reason that that's true. TJ's family loves Molly. They always have. So, I just it feels lazy. It clearly seems like they're moving them towards like separating from each other. Yeah, and nothing about it has made TJ look decent. We have not, the only TJ point of view that we've got to me has been annoying. So let's move it along, friends. And also, Molly, stay away from Jordan's man. It's been too long. Jordan has not had a man. Leave Jordan's man alone. You and Little Women, go.
I don't think I don't think that's Molly's fault so much as him just hitting it off with everybody.
Nah, she was
You know,
flirting too.
she was, but I think everybody was flirting. Everybody's flirting with Isaiah because
Mm-hmm.
Lucas was flirting with them. Every
Mm-mm.
uh
I have lots of hot takes of things I forgot to put because I rewatched the show last night.
okay.
Do you have anything to say before hot takes?
I don't have a lot of hot takes, so I want to hear yours.
Okay. Sam was not Christina's best friend. What is she talking about?
She and Sam clashed a lot, especially during the whole cult. Well, even though Sam did everything to save Christina from the cult, Christina went off on Sam a lot.
Or if that was your best friend, then girl, you need to find some new friends because we never saw y'all like that was not the relationship it seemed like y'all had.
Right. And
That was
again,
one
Christina acting like she has no one now. Christina's gone. My baby's gone. And now Sam's gone.
when everybody runs to you,
Right.
including your brother, your dad, your like everybody.
If anything, Michael was Christina's best friend. If anybody, it was Michael before she started going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Um, so let's talk about Anna and Jason. First of all, I did laugh. I did laugh when Holly came into the room. She said, hey, hello, Holly. Have you come to confess to one of your many crimes?" I did laugh about that, and I want to say that and how much I love Anna before I get into this. Anna, girl, what are you talking about? What are we doing here? Like her calling Jason to the office was like because Brendan ain't giving you no information. Her pretending like Jason is gonna give her any official. She is like it felt manipulative
mm-hmm.
because it wasn't like you were trying to get information for Jason on a side quest. You were trying to get information for Jason for your job as commissioner, and you know good and well he's not going to give that to you, and then you frame it as, oh, I guess that means our friendship has lies in it. Yeah, you're friends with a mobster.
Yeah, and the biggest problem I have with that is that I think she tried to kind of co-opt him into being her special friend
Mm-hmm.
like that, and they basically had already agreed that that wasn't going to work. So for her to call him back to the office and be like, "Why'd you lie to me, ma'am? You guys had already established that you guys can't have that kind of relationship. So why are you getting mad again at him?" It's like crazy.
And then like her being like confused about Jason's loyalty to Sunny, her being like, how, did you and Holly cook up this scheme in Africa? Where were Jason and Holly together long enough to cook up a scheme? And why do you believe that Jason would scheme with Holly? The only thing that Jason can get out of anything with Holly will be money. And Jason is not about money. So it just feels like he has more than enough. He was
Hmm.
able to just like buy the Metroport cash, okay? Like Jason's got money. So it just feels like people who have fundamental, who should know better, having fundamental misunderstandings of Jason's character. Drew believing that Jason needed an NDA, and Anna believing whatever it was that she was believing that Jason would do, and that he would like work with Holly behind her back, even though he didn't even have time to talk to Holly. And that he was kissing on you. So when would he have had time to talk to Holly?
He didn't even know Holly was down there. She's the one who told him.
Yeah. Okay. Talk a little bit more about Creep Drew. First of all, Drew Q for you is one of the stupidest slogans I've ever heard in my life. What are you talking about? But when him going to Willow and being like with that creepy, you're blushing.
Yeah, that was a
Drew,
little creepy.
Drew, you gotta go. Pack it up, bro. You gotta get out of here. We don't like it. It's nasty. It's creepy. It's not sexy. It's
Mm-mm.
predatory. Go. Bye. You gotta go.
Right.
No. Um. Oh, when Chase said to Brooklyn, "I can't wait to see you pregnant for real this time," Chase,
Ah!
sir, that was so foolish. I laughed so much. I was like, Chase, no, no. Um, I laughed at Curtis building a community center with money he didn't have in his pocket yet. Curtis, please.
It's just gonna hurt so much when he finds out.
And it's gonna make Drew look even worse because like now you
Uh-huh.
basically taking music away from underprivileged kids.
Wow.
Back to Isaiah and that sexy ass happy birthday, and him punctuating it with "Hope you like chocolate." That was out of pocket.
She
And Molly
does.
being like, "Yes, yes, I
Yes,
actually
I
do.
do. I do.
Got some experience with chocolate, actually."
Yes. I'm all about it.
just, just okay. And then Gio, sweetie, what are
Oh
you
my
doing?
God. Why?
What are you
Every
Gio doing? Just what? Just, that was it. I just had Geo, sweetie, question mark.
This is a big question mark. I don't even know if they're trying to have him there for comic relief or what. I don't get it.
I don't know. I do wonder if because they are committed to the character of Trina, that Geo was meant for her, and when the audience reception was like, "Nah,"
Mhm.
um, they decided to pivot.
It's my hot take. Um, I want them to bring Leo back instead of Gio. Leo was so much better. He was funny. He was, you know, he just was more, I mean, inserting him into scenes worked better, you know? It was just
Mm-hmm.
better. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have like a big old purpose, but he was great either
He
way.
was really
Every
good.
every single scene he was in, it was worth it. And Geo is not like that. It's not the same.
You
So
remember when they used to call it "Hey Leo"? Because like when it was like Leo's hospital, like yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yes.
I think the other piece of it, for me, is that we haven't seen Leo talk about like anybody say anything about Leo and Sam. Sam was
Right.
Leo's sister.
Yes.
That was one of the
Yes.
siblings her and Dante shared.
What? That's right. Oh, that
So
relationship, as crazy as it is, still worked.
yeah,
But
I love
man,
them. Yeah, I love them.
so
Um,
much.
that was my last hot take.
Hmm.
Anything from you? Anything that you got? That was just the
That was
thing
my
that
holiday.
I
That
forgot to
was my
say.
hot take. That's my hot take is Leo. Bring Leo back. Trade him for Gio, please.
Yeah. Um, I'm also pretty annoyed. We're gonna get into the previews for next week. Sam's funeral is next week, and from my
Mm,
understanding, the first viewing of Lulu is going to be on the same day as Sam's funeral, and that has pissed me off, to be honest.
mm.
So let's get into it. Preview for the week ahead. Monday, Alexis and Rick face off. Lucky gets an unexpected offer. Hopefully, he can stop talking about leaving because I'm tired of that. Uh, Dante opens up to Cody. TJ tries to support Molly. So that feels like a try and a fail. The two things I hate.
Mm.
Shout out to Jay Z. Um, Dan Danny has harsh words for Lucas.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Tuesday, Port Charles mourns Sam at her funeral. Christina and Molly rally around Alexis. Ava and Lucas find common ground. Lulu wakes up. Ah. Wednesday, Jason and Danny have a heart to heart. Elizabeth gets alarming news. Alexis makes a vow. Molly discloses Rick's plan. Dante and Christina want justice. Now, I am interested because I know, and I don't know if this was dropped or not, but there was a rumor that what happened to Sam was Cyrus's fault. That like he injected her with something or like some like an IV, something like that was like a rumor that was going around. So I do wonder if that is what we're going to see. If like what we're going to see around them wanting justice or them being mad is like finding out what happened to Sam.
Hmm.
So that'll be interesting to me. Um, Thursday, Michael confides in Sasha. I was about to say
Does he
something
now?
inappropriate.
I
He
know where
goes,
you're gonna like, does he?
all right. Jason is adamant. Dante ponders his next move. Christina thanks Jocelyn. You know what? When it was first announced that Steve was coming back as Jason, Tara would always say, Jason's coming back and he's going to heal this family. She says it all the time. So this, I'm like, dang, is Jason really about to heal this family?
Right?
Um, Kai surprises Trina.
Mm.
Friday, Molly delivers bad news to Christina. Ava is anxious. Stella encourages TJ. Jason seeks advice from Dante. Okay. Mac and Felicia step up for Sasha. Interesting. I just want to note that this is November, supposedly sweeps month. I've remained unswept.
And meanwhile, Young and the Restless fans, we are being swept left and right. But um, yeah. So
Well, thank you for making it to the end. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about GH Sunday shit. I'm going to leave that bio coffee link in the description of the show. And I think that's it. Anything else? Anything I'm missing?
Bye. Nope.
We
Bye.
will see you next week.